Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Buffy, where I'll be talking about and reviewing all the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order. Today I'm looking at Season 5, Episode 5, No Place Like Home. We begin the episode with some monks running away from something 2 months ago, and they perform a ritual to protect the key, which they succeed at just as something breaks in. In present day, Buffy cracks wise as she fights this giant guy before dusting him, but a security guard who seems to have missed the entire fight moves her along, handing her what he thinks is her shiny doodad, and into the credits we go. Buffy makes breakfast for Joyce, who's still suffering with headaches, and the doctors don't know the cause, but she shoos her so she can go to the grand opening of the magic shop, which isn't particularly grand, as Giles hasn't had any customers yet. Buffy tells Giles of her concerns of Joyce's health, and Jesus Christmas, Willow, that skirt is awful. It looks like a really bad period leak. Anyway, Buffy shows her orb to the group.
Appears to be paranormal in origin.
How can you tell?
Well, it's so shiny.
And Dawn makes herself an even bigger nuisance, and Buffy explains to Willow she's feeling left out at home and wishes she were an only child. The girls get home to find Joyce unwell again, so Buffy rushes out for some medication where she runs into Ben and the security guard from earlier, who's acting loopy and warns it will come for her family. One of the before monks is scribbling when the thing bursts in, and it's Claire Kramer from Bring It On, so that's nice. While Anya complains to Giles that she's poor, and Buffy thinks that whatever made the security guard crazy is what's making Joyce ill. Red Dress Lady, aka Glory, rants at the monk and says she wants her key, but the monk refuses to tell her, which seriously upsets her, so she sticks her fingers in this guy's head. Ouch! The magic shop is bustling, Giles is overwhelmed, Willow can't gift wrap for shit, and Anya tells Buffy about a spell that could help work out what's making Joyce sick. She goes home to perform the spell, with Dawn interrupting briefly, and Buffy goes into a trance which shows nothing appearing to be harming Joyce. But it does start removing Dawn from one of the photos, in fact all of the photos, as well as revealing that her room is supposed to be storage, and even Dawn herself vanishes. Buffy yells at her and attacks her, but the phone rings and it's Giles, who says the orb is for protection from some major evil. But before Buffy can tell him about the spell, Dawn shows up and they have a little standoff. Buffy goes back to the factory to poke around and finds the damage and the monk, but here comes Glory, who whoops her ass into a wall. With the magic box finally closed for the day, the only one with any energy left is Anya, so Giles hires her, and Buffy continues to get her ass kicked, so decides instead to grab the monk and dive out of the window, and Glory throws a tantrum that brings the roof down on her head. The monk tells Buffy to protect the key or lots of people will die, and he explains the key is energy that will open a portal, but with Glory on their asses, the monks turned it into a human and sent it to Buffy.
Done.
Gee, thanks, I hate it. Buffy wants it and the fake memories to go away, but the monk says she's innocent and doesn't know what she truly is. Then he dies. Buffy goes home to apologise to Dawn. Wobbly boom, Mike. But she's a dick about it, but she does worry about Joyce, who's getting sicker. Okay, unlike most other seasons, we're introduced to the big bad pretty early on, and from what I remember, we'll spend a lot of time with her. I know she's generally a fan favourite villain, but I'm not overly fussed on her, as she seems like Cordelia on steroids. We'll talk more as the season unfolds, but not a fan. We also find out the truth about who and what Dawn really is, and it's a pretty good twist. But here's my problem. At the end of Real Me, it's implied that Dawn knows who she is. And in this episode, she says and does some real questionable stuff that also implies that she has malicious intentions. But we find out that Dawn has no clue who she really is, so there's no reason to say and do those things except to intentionally mislead the audience. I know you don't want the twist to be so obvious you guess it outright, but the misdirect needs to make sense, otherwise it's just confusing. Here's the thing though, why did the monks need to make Dawn so annoying? Because let's face it, she is. And I know she's only been with Buffy for 2 physical weeks, but if they wanted her to protect Dawn, you'd think they'd make her more likeable. This is another setup/information dump episode that season 5 is full of, and honestly there's only a handful of episodes that stand out. The rest, even though I'm looking at the episode list right now, kind of merge into one big ball of Dawn Glory key storyline. But I guess this one is a pretty important one. Spike was once again sidelined. In fact, I didn't even bother including him in the episode review because he doesn't make an impact, even though everyone loves his out for a walk bitch scene. Even though season 5 was the first video box set I owned, I can't remember it super well, but I'm almost certain that Spike gets used as a punching bag throughout the season with a couple of jokes sprinkled in. But I guess some characters had to be dialed back so Dawn could come to the forefront and be really frickin' annoying. We have 2 more deaths. One vampire, the big dude from the beginning, staked by Buffy, and one human, the monk who died from a combination of glory and being thrown out of the window. But he got to be an exposition fairy before he went, which brings our running total to 3 humans, 10 vampires, and 1 demon. So there you have it. That was No Place Like Home. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want to be sired by my channel. Alternatively, feel free to check out my other YouTube channels. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and don't let the vampires bite.